I call it a wee bike because I got in shit for it. I'm just gonna double check everything's going right. It's like a pocket rocket, bro. I mean, it's 120. You know what it is? You know the Honda Ruckus? You know what that is?
I don't know much about it.
It's okay. So Honda Ruckus is it's a beach bike. So it's made for like lifeguards. It literally looks like, you know those Italian Vespas?
Not off the top of my head.
It's like a scooter.
Okay.
So the Ruckus is the skeleton of the scooter. It's got all these fucking holes. Like, actually, when I went to Hawaii, they had people riding Ruckuses where they put their surfboard on the side, so they got to fucking ride on an angle.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So I used to have that, but that was 50cc. So, dude, my fat ass, bro, on a windy day in Chicago,
I know what that's like, because when I lived in Maui, I had a moped as well. I lived there for like 8 months. I lost my license at the time, so I just went there to work, and I got a moped. And mopeds, pretty gay, unless you're on an island.
Yeah.
That's like the exception to the driving, like just driving along the ocean, like there's palm trees everywhere. It is amazing.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So
you live there?
Yeah, I lived there for about 8 months.
That's fucking beautiful. What island were you on?
Maui. Yeah.
Okay.
I basically just rode out the pandemic on Maui.
Nice, dude. Was it like it was for your job, right?
So it was I went there I went there to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a job lined up right away, but I had fallen off a ladder like maybe 2 months before.
Yeah.
And I fucked up my ankle. I was out of work for like for 2 months I was out of work. I had just gone out on my own as a carpenter for the first time, and so I was out of money. I was like I couldn't afford my mortgage.
Yeah.
I had owned a house at the time.
Are you a union guy?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never been in the union, but now I work for myself.
Okay. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
So I was in the union. Never going back.
What union?
Fuck that shit. I was in a sheet metal union. Because I grew up, I mean, it's a long story, but basically the neighborhood I grew up in, it was all like Italian brats of like, they're like, you know, they all have like grandpa's businesses that he got from extorting people.
Yeah.
Or you were a cop or you were a union person. And like, I didn't, like, I grew up in a Polish family. I didn't learn English till I was 12. So I didn't have like any hookup to get me in. So I was testing for the union for fucking, I mean, since I was 23, and now I'm 36, and I finally got in at 34.
Yeah.
Because the test is like every 3 or 4 years. So I got in sheet metal, and fuck that shit. I made more money being a temp, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I mean, the at least I don't know what it is for sheet metal, but I mean the wages are pretty good in the union for carpentry.
They are
and
good.
The benefit.
They are good. It's just that like what I learned, like all these like these little like fucking lies in well, like, you know, when somebody tells you, yo man, you could be making $70 an hour being a welder, they're talking about the highest wage after you've been there for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And they don't mention that, you know, 40 of it gets taken out into the fucking, you
union
know,
fees and
yeah.
all, yeah.
Like my wife, she's IT for a school. She has better insurance than my union had.
Yeah.
And like the other thing that sucked was our pension, like that's the thing, is the unions in the 90s were fucking awesome when the mafia was around. Now unions, like, I guess they're all going to 401k. I made like 5 other guys leave because we realized that we're like the new apprentices, we're still paying off the last journeyman's pension, and then that pension is just going to disappear. We're not going to have a pension.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck this shit. Because the other thing too is I was in it for 3 years, and out of those 3 years, dude, on average, I was laid off for 6 months.
Yeah.
So
that is a bitch.
And like I said, I don't fucking know it. Plus, they hated me when I was like, yo, I was raised in the city. They looked at me like I was like they were Confederates and I was black, like, because I was the only person north of the Union Hall.
Okay.
So they're all like, you know, camo and safety orange wearing, you know.
Right.
So they did not I did not fit in. Like,
Yeah.
I was getting my ass hazed, bro.
Yeah. No, I've definitely hazed some apprentices, but I mean, I was never. I guess I've never experienced that. I started working for my dad.
Yeah.
Just his own small company.
Nice.
I've been on job sites since I was a little kid, but.
Nice, man.
But yeah, basically, I was out of money, so I went to live with my parents in Maui. That's where that story was going, and I found work right away. So
nice, dude.
My dad's in construction too, so.
Dude, Hawaii's fucking beautiful. So I want to start. This is Wild Phil with Wild Philosophy. I am your host. We are here with Cody Heck, straight out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right?
Yes, sir.
I met you when when Comedy Cabin opened. Everybody from Chicago rushed up there to kiss Nathan's ass to get some spots, you know.
Yes.
And the first time I went, I ate shit, and then the second time, I think I did really well. And I think, honestly, that night, you were the only one that did well. And I was like, yo, man, we got to exchange shit.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was cool, man.
Have you performed at the club other than the mic yet?
At Comedy Cabin?
Yeah.
No. I sent clips.
Yeah.
I didn't get on. No.
I mean, I think the best way is by doing well at the mic consistently.
Mm-hmm. I gotta drive up there more. I those 2 times were the only times I drove up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta do that more because lately I've been kind of down that hole of like, you know, the whole new game is like Instagram clips.
Yeah.
So I've been going to like, I love Comedy Vault as far as clips. I don't think that they're gonna book me anytime soon because I'm too vulgar.
Yeah.
But that's what I've been doing is investing into the gram, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been doing a lot of that myself, and it's gone pretty well.
Mm-hmm. You got some nice clips I seen at Comedy on State.
That's where, that's where I get all my clips. Like the sound is perfect.
That's a nice setup, dude.
Yeah, and like they give you, it's like $15 to get the clip, and it's fucking
nice,
perfect. Yeah.
Those
are the only ones that people watch on the
that place is like the Zanies of Wisconsin, is what I feel like. You know?
Mean, it's one of the best clubs in the country for sure.
I went there when so I was mentioning to Cody before, like I've been welding for 15 years, and like I used to listen to Skanks 24/7. You know, that was my favorite podcast, and I was like, when the fuck is Big J coming? Because there was like a period of like 3 years where I'm listening to this thing, and I'm like, Big J's not coming. So I drove out to fucking Comedy on State. Craig Smith opened. He was the host. He's awesome. And then this girl Sarah Perry from Chicago.
Yep,
she's fucking hilarious. And that
I
whole
didn't know
show,
she featured that weekend.
Yeah. I mean that whole show was just like, it's rare. I'll be honest, like I'm not gonna name names, but it's rare where I see a show and like everybody on the show does great.
Yeah, I mean at the high level clubs with huge headliners, you're gonna see more of it for sure.
Yeah, but even like I saw Big J 2-3 weeks ago, a mile from my house right here. It's
really?
It's called Chicago Improv, but it's all the way the fuck out here.
Yeah.
So all the comedians bitch about it because they get like hotels downtown and they got to drive out here.
Oh yeah.
But
that's funny. That's exactly how the Milwaukee Improv is.
Yeah.
It's like 30 minutes from the city.
Yeah. But I saw him there, and it's like, you know, when you do mics every fucking night, you sort of get a little bit numb to like laughing.
Yeah.
And dude, like, you know, I see the first comic, the second comic, the third comic, and then I'm like, man, I hope Big J hasn't lost it because he was my favorite. And then he goes on, dude, it was like watching a samurai sharpen swords. I was like, this is, my jaw was cramped from laughing.
Yeah, yeah. No, when you see somebody at that level, like, it's as well, where we are. It's both inspiring and also like, holy shit, we don't do the same thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If whatever he's doing is different, I got that feeling from David Tell. I think David Tell is the best to ever do it.
Yeah, he's your favorite. That's one thing that I do ask. Like, if you had like 3 top influences, what would you say, like, that are famous that you?
I guess influences. I got Daniel Tosh would be one.
Yeah.
Jackass, just the whole series.
Yeah.
would be one.
That's interesting. I never heard that one.
And then Louis C.K.
Mm-hmm.
David Tell I got into late, and that was more like I was already doing comedy at the time, and like seeing him perform live was just like, that was incredible. I walked away from that, and I've seen like a lot of big comics, and that was just top of like he's so efficient.
Yeah.
Like he's in such control of the room. It's incredible. Yeah.
That's cool, man. I got to see him. I like David Tell. I just haven't gotten the chance to.
I always I like his old stuff, but he wasn't like somebody I was like crazy about. But I heard about all these comics talking about him, and I went and saw him live. He's better than he's ever been. Like
Yeah. I love mine's always gonna be Louis C.K. Like he's the one that always fucking and yeah, Jackass. I love Jackass. Like I grew up with Jackass and Tom Green, like that on the street comedy. I've been trying to find somebody who wants to do that shit, like some on the street shit.
Yeah, nobody does that in Chicago.
I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who wants to just like, cause this is what's goofy is like I literally had two people that I almost got to do with this. You know those sugar candy bottles they use in like as props in movies when they smash it over somebody.
Yeah, kind of.
Like they use bottles that are.
I know they have fake breakaway. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
like
know what they're made of.
So like it's just sugar and they're like $20 a bottle. So I wanted to make a bunch of clips where I'm just like walking down a street in downtown, and then like I used to be in like a metal band, so we'd have like fake blood and shit. Just fill it up with blood, and then somebody slams it on my face, and then just see how people react. And nobody wants to do it. They're either afraid of smashing it on my face, or it's all like videographers who are like, no, I only make artsy independent movies. That's stupid. That's Jackass stuff. And I'm like, dude, fuck it. Like,
well, Jackass rules. So.
Jackass does rule.
How's your independent film doing?
Mm-hmm. My buddy Matt Michalski, I did a roast battle, my last roast battle with him. He runs a place called Rock House. It's literally a mile this way in East Dundee, and he just had Preston Lacey there. He just opened up for him. Okay. He's not one of my favorite on the Jackass, but it's still cool. Yeah.
Everybody has their place. Mm-hmm. Like they have like the perfect dynamic as a whole cast. Like they have Danger Aaron, who's just like the bitch. He just everybody fucks with him.
Yeah.
And then they got the fat guy who like, they have to push to do anything too crazy, but like, it's like everybody's personality just works. So like it just feels like a family.
Yeah. Do you like the new crew?
I thought the new movie was awesome.
Yeah.
I really did. I thought like I had my doubts going in, and I thought it was like as good as it could have been.
I couldn't enjoy it to the fullest extent only because I was going to take my stepkid, he's 16 years old. I was going to take him with, and he goes, yo man, can I take my friends? And there's like school friends, but then there's like neighborhood friends. So I'm like, oh yeah, why not bring your friends? Well, he brought the neighborhood friends, which they're still like 12 and 10. So I bring them with, and I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Like 80% of this movie is dicks. I felt so...
There was so many dicks, dude. If you don't like dicks, you might not watch it, but I loved it.
I know. I didn't know what would be creepier was to just act normal or to have like a meeting with these kids like, don't tell your parents what we just watched,
Jackass has always had a lot of dicks.
Yeah, dude.
But they put more dicks than ever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought that like having the new cast members in there.
Yeah.
For like, I think it kept it fresh while keeping the old like camaraderie.
Yeah, I like that they got what the fuck is his name from Odd Future in there? The Sharky or something or Dark Shark. That's his dad. The two black guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Wait, what one's from Odd Future?
The younger one.
Okay.
Like Dark Shark is his dad, and then I forgot who he. Is it Dolph or something? I forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I just called him the black ass.
Yeah. He because Odd Future did that shit before, right?
I didn't.
Yeah. They used to have their own like Jackass style show,
okay.
and they just had the whole Odd Future crew doing it. So, but
I didn't know that.
But yeah, man, it's been. I always start the show. I go like, is there anything crazy that's happened to you in the past 2 weeks that you want to talk about? Like anything fucking you want to riff on?
The last 2 weeks, I mean, I went to Maui.
Mm-hmm.
I did mushrooms at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot. Too many mushrooms.
Nice.
So I I lived an amazing couple of weeks. But
So you went to Maui this time again, right?
yes.
From living in my wife and I, we were at Oahu last July.
Nice.
Because we had a belated honeymoon. Like we got married. I think it was, bro. We're both Geminis, so neither of us remember the exact date, and neither of us give a fuck if we forget. So that's, but
I don't know what Gemini has to do with it.
it's just like just short term memory and just like going with the flow type. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if that. Maybe you just have ADHD.
I think that's what it is.
It
Yeah,
might not be from when you were born,
dude. I grew up in a single mom home, so that astrology shit ruined me.
Okay.
You know what I believe it like a cult.
Yeah.
So, but
I wonder if anyone gets molested in that cult.
yeah, right. No, this is what Pisces do, bro. This is how we get down. But but yeah, we got married in like 2019 and lockdown happened. So I'm always a half glass full kind of person, so I was just like, well, we can't have we don't want to have a honeymoon right now, go on planes with all this sickness, but bro, I'm going to save up so much fucking money. And we just had the ultimate. I went on every tour that I could have fucking possibly gone on. I went on a dolphin tour, turtle snorkeling tour, and dude, the last day was the grand finale because the last day was people the Maui fires started. Like it was from the hurricane winds that were.
Oh yeah,
feeding the
that's how
flames.
they spread. I don't know what actually started it, but like during the dry season, fires start every year.
So like right when we were leaving, the hurricane warnings were already out, and so the last day we left on a Thursday, but Wednesday was the last day we could like do everything all day. That Wednesday they were like, don't go in the fucking water, so we went on a shark tour, and that shit was badass, bro. Because I'm fucking wild, Phil. I'm like, let's get fucking wild because dude, that shit, like my wife went in the water for it's like an hour, like 2-3 hour tour. She went in the water for like a half hour because she just started hurling. Because literally, when we were on the boat, it was just going like, when you do like side crunches. Yeah. That was the whole ride because of the fucking waves. And I was like, bro, if I die, this is at least a badass way to fucking die.
Yeah. So wait, it was a shark tour on a boat. I'm getting they like chummed or what?
They it's called Ocean One, I think. And you have to, so we were at the Waikiki Resort, and you have to go to the absolute opposite. Like if Oahu was a square, we were at the bottom left, and we had to go to the top right, take a bus there, and they just go to where all of the shark families are. They find them and shit. And you don't go in a cage. You just hold on to the side of the boat, and you can dive with them. And like once
you go in the water?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We were. One almost brushed by me. It was like 2 feet away. And
how big were the sharks?
They were. I forgot what the fuck they're called. I forgot what the fuck the ones that we saw. They were brownish, and the longest one. Honestly, the longest one was like as tall as you. Honestly.
Yeah,
but
that's a good sized shark.
Yeah, yeah. And the creepy part was near the end. Everybody was getting used to it, like getting their fears down and shit. A tiger shark started creeping in. We're like, all right, we're getting the fuck out of here,
Those are gnarlier ones?
Oh, yeah. Tigers are the worst because they're the ones who attack the most.
Okay.
They're the highest one because those are the ones so what they do is tiger sharks, because I think they're smaller but more vicious. They're like the fucking ocean chihuahuas, and they like to have their babies near the shallow water so that the other sharks don't eat them. So that's why they have the most attacks, because they go after fucking everybody in the shallow water.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, but yeah, once he explained it to me this way, I was like, they're like ocean cats. They're literally ocean cats. Like if they come up to you, you know how a cat puts his paw on the head for like dominance? That's all you got to do. If a shark goes towards you, you just bonk them on the nose, and they go the other way. Yeah. The other thing that I found interesting was that the hierarchy is based on, like, the biggest badass is at the bottom. So they're like, whatever you do, don't go underneath them, because that's like challenging them.
Okay.
So it was kind of, there was about 20 of them where we were swimming around.
That does sound pretty sick.
It was fun, dude.
I've never done anything like swimming with sharks. Like that's something I think I could do. The freaky part about sharks is when you're like out on a paddleboard, or like when you're out like, or you're just deep messing around in the ocean.
Yeah.
And then they just you come up and take you.
Yeah.
That's the I see videos of like how people handle it, and you're calm and like they don't.
Yeah.
Like if you're like down there, they don't fuck with you too hard.
Yeah.
But I've also heard stories of surfers and stuff. It's like it seems like every year somebody gets killed.
Yeah.
Out in Maui, like someone surfing, and I think they had these big this big surfing competition. They got canceled because somebody, like one of the first days, somebody got killed by a shark. Did
you ever hear how big the waves get there for the surfing?
Oh yeah, I've
like 60 feet.
Yeah, we've gone to like different parts of the island and just watched how big the waves get. It's crazy to see.
It's fucking awesome. Like I didn't know like what pissed me off because we're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
So I was like, I go, what's the best time to go? And I'm like, oh, probably July, whatever, And they're like, oh yeah, the surfing competitions are during the winter because that's when the tidal wave comes, whatever. They're like, yeah, but you don't want to go then. It gets cold. To them, cold is what, 83 instead of 85.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man. I wish I would have gone.
Oh, and yeah, and also when you go in the winter, especially Maui, that's when the whales are jumping.
Yeah,
and that is amazing. Like,
I wish I dude. That's like a bucket list. I want to like be near a fucking orca in the wild. You know what I mean?
I believe these are humpbacks.
Okay,
but. I mean, it's like a school bus jumping out of the water.
Yeah,
getting it's the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, we went on a dolphin tour as well, and what they were doing is like, so it was sort of like, okay, if the dolphins are traveling, whatever, like northwest, we try to go 3 miles ahead of them with the boat, and then they drop you off so that they kind of like run into you.
Yeah,
and I was like. We did it 3 times because you only, you pay for whatever the fuck, like an hour. So you only have an hour to do it. So we did it the last time. And
so the first 2 times didn't work?
Yeah, they just, we couldn't see any.
Yeah.
And then the third time, dude, what people don't understand is like, when you see like in National Geographic, you see like dolphins, they sort of like, they do like the McDonald's arch, out of the water. What you don't realize is they jump out of the water, but then they dive like 60 feet. So we saw like 3 little babies just like fucking around and like they're like kittens because they're like trying to show off and shit,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if sharks are cats, then dolphins are definitely dogs.
Mm-hmm. And dude, so we went by these 3, and then we're like, oh, this is all we're gonna get, and then the guide, he's like, look down, and we look down with the snorkel. There was 100 of them, the whole fucking school, because there was just 3 coming up at a time, but they were all swimming together.
Yeah, I've been out on a paddleboard with a group of people.
Nice.
And they came up and they're just like kind of playing with us and stuff, just jumping up and like we're jumping in, and it was so cool.
Nice.
Like that was one of the most amazing things I've ever done.
So when you went to Maui this time, did you like it was for your dad's company that you work for?
This was just a side job. Yeah. My dad's company was slow, so we rebuilt a
How
roof.
do you get something like that?
Or
should I not ask?
No. There's just a very big demand for good carpenters in Maui, in Hawaii.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about carpentry, but I'd love to go there for a fucking like.
Yeah,
if you guys need bitches who just carry shit.
I don't know if they what they have for welding. It's not like there's not a lot of manufacturing. It'd be like on-site welding.
No. I mean even in carpentry, like because I just been an all-around laborer in temp agencies for like you know what it is. It's like the way vets talk about Vietnam is how I feel about work, like betrayed. Because fucking, I remember like when I started welding. I don't know if you remember. Like, how old are you?
28.
20. I'm 36. You remember Orange County choppers?
Vaguely.
Like it was.
Like I remember that it was a thing. I never got into it.
Yeah. Like there were just every fat dude with a beard, including me, wanted to get into welding to work on bikes, not knowing that like 90% of the fucking welding is, you're making
in a shitty factory.
Yeah, and you're breathing in horrible shit, like everything. So, I remember I was at this temp job, and the way this guy put it, there was this like really jaded old black welder guy, and he's just like, man, you know what temp life is? He's like, you work at this company during the summer, company A, then you get laid off, then you work at company B, then you get then the busy season is at company C, and you just keep circling for your whole fucking life, and you never get a raise. But like I said, I still made more money at temp places only because when I was in the I'm a shop guy, so I didn't know you got to travel where the work is. So when I got in the sheet metal, I'm like, so when do we start? He's like, oh, you got to be at 5 a.m. on the border of Iowa on Monday. But then on Tuesday, you got to be on the border of Kenosha. And then on Wednesday, you got to be on the border of fucking Indiana. I'm like, dude, fuck this. I'm not made for this. Like, I don't want to wake up at 3 a.m. anymore,
Yeah, that is a bitch. I don't honestly. I have it pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Work wise, because I work for myself. Most of my work, I live in the apartment complex that I'm also remodeling.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So like it's just me and the owners just trucking along, just turning over units.
That's fucking cool.
So I don't have to travel. I've had to, like we would go and be like northern Wisconsin for a month or so. Yeah.
Yeah. I just had moments where they're just like, if you're here at 5:01, go fucking home type shit. I was so sick of that shit.
Yeah. That it's not. I'm at a point where like I'm skilled enough that like I'm running 15 minutes late. Like go find someone else if you don't like it. Like,
yeah.
It's I hold more power now because
I think that's why nobody wants to fucking work now, because they're just like, bro, if you want to fire me, go ahead. Like the last union shop I was at, there was a dude who had been there for 40 years, meaning this motherfucker. I mean, you know how there's like Marines who could put together their gun and take it apart blindfolded. This guy could do that to every machine there. The laser, the forming machines, the polish, whatever. And we got a new floor manager, which is some young dweeb who fucking he's
just has a degree and no life experience.
And he wants to strut his shit. So he's like, hey, whatever, I forgot what the guy's name was. He's like, hey, Mike, I don't see that you're clocking in. And he's like, bro, I've been here for 40 years. We're supposed to start at 7, and I'm here every day at 5:30. I have the first car. You really want me to fucking clock in? Because he was just an old boomer that didn't know how to use fingerprint machines and shit, whatever. And they fired him. I'm like, bro, that's why people don't want to work, because they're gonna lose a guy over like these new fucking rules.
Yes, but I think people are also learning. Like now, there's more power in the employee. If you're a decent employee, like you can get away with some shit. Like the people that I work with or work for, like they know I'm a little rough around the edges. I might show up late, like I pull up and my truck looks like shit. But like I'll get it done. If I fuck something up, I'll figure out how to make it right. And I will, if I have to, I'll bust my ass, do 14 hours, whatever I need to do. I will get it done.
Yeah.
So I can pull some shit.
That's what matters the most. I couldn't stand like some of the shit they do. Like I've told this to other people, but it was like there was a short dude that when you're welding, you gotta have the mask on, whatever. He would just sneak up to you and tell you he's gonna rape you in the ass after work. And I'm just like, bro, you're a fucking foot shorter than me. Guess who's on top, bro?
You're on the bottom when you're trying to when you're doing the raping.
Yeah.
That's
Are you need some phone books to reach up to me? And then the funny thing is, like, just by luck, because I'm kind of like I don't know how to explain it. I'm like a meditative person. So the way they would haze me, I didn't give a fuck. It just didn't. Like there was one time, how like in unions, they only work with the companies that they work with. Like they have a dedicated obligation to like we only buy gloves from this place, you know. So yeah, you could just put this on. I could get this out of here, but and I'll throw it all out at the end. It's all good. But you know how they are. Like so
Right.
we needed to restock gas tanks. And he's like, yeah, you got to drive like 80 miles like next to the city, because this was out in fucking, I don't know if you know where Woodstock is.
No.
It's like a hour drive this way. So so he's like, yeah, you got to go pick up some tanks. And I'm like getting this steak truck ready, and they're just like giggling. I'm like, what are you fucking laughing at? He's like, oh, nothing, man, nothing. You sure you got everything? You're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So I go, and they didn't give me those, you know, those safety orange straps. You know what I'm talking about?
The orange straps for.
Like for when you gotta like strap it to the side of the truck, like
Oh yeah, like
when they're
ratchet straps.
the what?
Ratchet straps.
Yeah, like when they transport fucking cars, they put them on the tires and shit.
Right.
So they didn't give me those straps, so I drive 80 fucking miles. I get this gas tank, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have any straps. But I didn't care, so I just put the 3 tanks in the passenger seat. You know, it's just and they're like, how the fuck did you do that? I'm like, I put in the passenger. I just put a seatbelt on them. Like, you know, if you crashed, you would have left a fucking crater in the ground. I'm like, well, that's what you get for hazing me. You should have given me the fucking straps, ass.
Well, what did they expect you to do?
Yeah, like literally half the time was them getting pissed off that I'm not pissed off. You know,
Right.
It was so dumb.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've definitely sent some people into a trailer looking for a glass magnet,
Yeah.
board stretcher, just make up shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always fun. I've given some nasty nicknames that really stuck.
What are some nicknames?
My favorite ever. This guy, he had something wrong with his gut, but he was constantly shitting. We called him Diapers for like a year.
Yeah.
And Stinky, Twinkie. Oh man, it's been a while. I work alone now, so I don't get to fuck with people too
Yeah,
much, but,
yeah.
Diapers was probably the worst one.
No, I worked with such goofy people. Like I'm gonna have these other comedians that we all worked in shops, and we're all gonna share shop stories. That's gonna be a long one. But one of the things I remember, there was a guy, we were making it was surgical. It was medical equipment for animal testing. Like literally, when you apply, you have to check the box that you're okay with animal testing. And it wasn't anything bad. It was they just test shampoos on animals, and we would build cages like as small as a rat cage to as big as this room for a fucking gorilla. And I remember I was laughing my ass off when they were showing me the shot. They're like, you better make these welds right, because someone's going to get their fucking arm ripped off. And I burst out laughing, you know?
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So, but I'm just picturing some, like, gay gorilla being like, no, I only use Old Spice because it makes me, you know, like, fucking asshole. Don't put that Pantene Pro V on me.
How do you shampoo a gorilla? That's nuts, dude.
I don't know, but
You have to give it mushrooms.
yeah. But
And
there
then
was
it becomes self-aware.
I think they shoot like a tranquilizer dart in them or something.
Okay, that
I don't
makes
know.
sense, yeah.
But there was one guy, I felt so bad for him. He was like this 300-pound black dude. He never got any sleep because he had like 6 kids that he was working for, and he had sleep apnea. He had like that Biggie voice, where he was like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
And so he also had, what is it like when when you have like real bad diabetes, you like lose feeling in your feet.
Oh yeah, or gout.
Yeah.
Gout, yeah.
So the first thing was he would always fall asleep so much that we would like take pictures of him because we were going to make a whole calendar with like different positions he's asleep, like with his ass crack out and shit.
Yeah.
And then one day he was in the like polishing, grinding department. So there's all these like metal curly fries from all the drilling, you know? And he just walks in. No, and we're just like looking at each other. He forgot to put his shoes on because he can't feel his feet. So he's just walking around grinding, and his feet are bleeding. And he's like, we're like, yeah, yo man, how how's your day going? He's like, oh, it's pretty good, man. Got some good sleep this time. and he looks like
Jeez.
Jesus just came off the cross.
Barefoot socks? What?
Socks. Like his socks were soaping up all the blood.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Damn, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard. That.
Yeah, it was some crazy shit there. I got in trouble because one time I came in, I didn't get enough time to make breakfast, so I was just making a grilled cheese with the blow torches, and they got pissed off at that because it's like medical equipment. So like, you're gonna get melted cheese all over these surgical.
Well, at least I have fucking shoes.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I was gonna. So like, what made you get started in comedy? Like, what
I just I just had like, I guess you could call them bits.
Yeah.
That I like had in my head that like were like rants almost.
Yeah.
Like,
did you grow up like a class clown?
Kind of. I was quiet in school though. Like so like I was always funny. I always had comedic timing.
Yeah.
So but like what actually started it, like I would have like these I forget what it was even about, but if a topic would come up, like one of my buddies would go, Cody, do the thing, like like you say this better, and then like I would like do this like rant thing.
Yeah,
and
you just riff on it.
Yeah, and then somebody eventually told me I should try an open mic, and then I.
How long ago was that?
So I've been doing it consistently for over 4 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice. And you always grew up around like the Milwaukee area?
Yeah. So it's Hartford. So I'm like 40 minutes north of the city.
Okay.
North of the city is where I grew up.
Is there any mics like close to you, or most of it is Milwaukee, right?
It's basically all Milwaukee. There was one in Fond du Lac that I was going, but that's dead. And,
okay.
So now it's all Milwaukee.
That's cool, man. But like you never had like a like where you started watching comedy as a kid on TV or anything that like. I don't
know. I've never thought that I wanted to do it. Like,
yeah.
I never thought I could. I never like knew what an open mic was. So it's like I never thought it was possible.
Did you get panic when you went on stage? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was shaking reading off a piece of paper, absolutely bombing for my first like 3.
First 3 years?
First 3 mics.
Oh, okay.
And then like, I think the 4th one, I was like, okay, if I don't at least do okay.
Yeah,
I can't keep doing this. And then I got some laughs. I'm like, okay. And then I was like, okay, I'm in. And then I just started. It was just being comfortable on stage. I was so nervous. I've never like spoken in front of people before like that.
Yeah. I even thought like it would have been a lot. Like that's the other thing too is like I have friends who are in bands and they're like, oh, I think I could do it because I don't have the stage fright thing. I'm like, dude, it's not the same. It is not the same.
Yeah.
Because I fucking like. When you're drowning your voice with an instrument, it's different from nothing but silence and you eating shit. You know, like.
Yeah, because there's an expectation for laughter. Like if I'm not getting a laugh at least every 30 seconds, then I'm like, I'm not as bad now, but like for a long time that like, you know, oh shit, that one didn't work. Okay, I got another one here. That one didn't work, and then you start sweating and going fat, like. Even if you're comfortable and used to it, if it's not going well, it sucks.
Yeah.
But I would say that, you know, being used to being on stage and talking is definitely a big help.
Mm-hmm. And you also like, do you you said you did MMA. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, I did. So kickboxing, I had 6 kickboxing fights, 1 boxing fight.
That's your like entire record, like at a competition.
Yeah.
So, like, what made you want to stop?
Well, I started doing comedy, and also a little worried about brain trauma.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I didn't want to do any head strike or any strike shit because of head injuries. Like,
yeah, you did jujitsu?
Yeah, I just did jujitsu. I grew up in like the punk scene, and so I had even like this whole like most people like. The original skinheads are not racist, and I used to be in like non-racist skinhead gangs in high school.
Sure, okay, yeah.
And
that tracks. I should probably leave.
No, and we got into fights for fun. It was literally just like Fight Club, you know. I remember there was this one kid. it was so funny because there's this kid that I grew up with. His name's McCurchie. He looked like Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes because he had like this bleach blonde hair, and he was like he had the personality. He was just like this, like just really sweet, nice kid, but he fought like a monster. And I was like best 2 out of 3, whatever. And he beat the shit out of me twice. And then like I watched one UFC thing and I learned like a rear naked choke. I made him have a fucking seizure. it was so bad. I was like, I'm sorry, man. And he's like flopping around like a fish on his front lawn. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
Yeah. Oh man, I mean, I love fighting. Mm-hmm. Like if I could just go and like I don't mind getting hit in the face. Like if it wasn't for like my wanting to protect my brain.
Yeah.
I would I could do it every day. Like, I love sparring. That's my favorite part of it.
Yeah.
But I got hit a lot in the head when I was learning so I have nerve damage in my left. Oh shit! I've had nerve damage. It's from being born, so I can't lift my left arm past there.
From
since
birth?
Since birth.
Oh wow!
So, like when I was when I was just starting out, I would do like 3 hours a day. Like I mean, I would before comedy, my life was when I was in training. Like I'd work 8 to 10 hours, go to the gym. Do a run with some guy, if I was like in fight camp, do a run, then hit pads, spar, bag work, like all this, they go to bed, do the same thing tomorrow. So like they saw how hungry I was, and one coach, Justin Lemke, he's the man, he pulled me aside. This was a moment that really changed my life, I think. He's like, I see how hungry you are, and with your arm, you can do this. You just have to be okay with working harder than everybody else. Mm. And I did. And so like, I was just in from that point. I was just, getting after it. And I was like 16 at that point. So by the time I was 17, I was sparring with the MMA team, the Grown Men Rufus Sport in Milwaukee. Some of the best fighters in the world come from there. Like, we have world champions that, started and had their whole careers there.
Nice.
So, I was just getting my ass kicked with my left arm. I was eating right hands and right kicks. On this side, I was just slower. And it took me a while to get good at defense and being able to – that's still my last boxing fight, which I just shouldn't have done. He figured out – I don't think he knew that I had a disability, but he figured out that his right hand was bouncing off my head quite easy.
Oh, man.
And that was probably my worst concussion in the ring. But
was he the same size as you?
He was probably like 315.
Okay.
I was like
same height.
Roughly the same height. Yeah.
Okay.
He was very athletic. He was like the dude from The Blind Side. Just moved crazy well for a big guy. Just like a big black dude. And I think he was like an 8-1 boxer. I should not have taken the fight.
Yeah.
I wanted a reason to get back into shape, and that was something that motivated me.
Dude, because it's so much fucking fun. But yeah, that's why I quit. I broke both ankles, and I'm like, dude, I can't do this if I'm gonna do any labor work. You can't I got to take off a week or 2 weeks because if you work for yourself, it's cool. But these fucking cunts who don't want to fire a guy who's there for 30 fucking years. They're not going to put up with you. Oh, I got to take a week off because I do this hobby that hurts me all the time.
Yeah. Fortunately, I've never been injured from it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did it for almost 10 years, and I haven't.
When you start losing your temper, that's when you know the damage is. That when you start crisp and whining some shit.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't beat my girlfriend when I get home.
Yeah.
But I don't. That's one thing that makes me comfortable is I'm. It takes I don't lose my temper much. I feel like I don't know, I'm an idiot. I forget shit a lot. And, sometimes I worry that it's coming. But the temper thing, I'm good. I'm good on that.
Yeah, that's the thing is I was saying, I was in the punk scene, so I got into, I would say 17 real fights just on the street. And then, I tried rugby in college. They recommended me off the team because I got 3 concussions in a week. Not 3. I don't know if it was concussions, but I did black out. Because they say,
yeah, that's at least a small concussion.
yeah.
Like, I don't know how many I've had. But you know,
If you had to guess,
I think I've had 4 bad ones.
okay.
And one of them was from being beat up by the cops. But there were so many nights that when I was like 17, 18, when your brain and everything's developing, that like it wasn't bad, but like my drive home, like lights are bothering my eyes, and like I just have a headache. I just thought that was normal. After sparring, you get a headache because you get in the head. And then I got better. I'm like, oh, I don't have a headache anymore because I'm not taking shots to the face.
Yeah, dude. When I did I don't know if it's an immigrant thing. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I was never big on taking any pills. And when I did jiu-jitsu, I've never taken that much Tylenol in my life.
Yeah.
Because there just be nights that I just I can't fall asleep because my spine is killing me, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty durable, like physically. Like you get banged up naturally, but
yeah. My claim to fame was I only did it for 2 years, and I was saying this on the podcast with Alan, and he thought I was joking, but I'm being serious. Like, I didn't know that in jiu-jitsu, like I don't have a lot of money to be spent on jiu-jitsu, but I didn't know that once you level up in belts, you have to pay like $100 each belt level. So
yeah, depending on the
gym.
The gym, yeah.
Yeah, so the place I was at, I mean, I was just like, dude, I don't think I would ever get to black belt, but if I did, they're paying like $1,000 a month, you know? And I'm like, I don't know if I wanted, you know.
Yeah, you should probably find a different school. Because the good schools don't do that shit.
So, yeah, but my claim to fame was I made 2 guys quit, and then we did 2-minute sparring rounds, and I went against a black belt, and I didn't tap out.
Wow, that's impressive.
But that was it was because I'm just real. My biggest problem, what they told me is I'm 260, but he said I move like I'm fucking 180 because and that's half the time. Like I broke my toe just because I was like sweeping too fast, you know. But the other reason why I quit was like the place I was at, I was the biggest guy. So nobody wanted to go with me. You know what I mean? It's just fucking annoying. Like,
yeah, no, I've definitely been there. Yeah.
And then like the master, he'd get pissed off because he's like, technique. I'm like, dude, I'm here for mental health, so I'm just gonna use strength. I don't give a fuck about technique. You know, I'm just having fun.
Well, yeah, but if you have both, then you get better.
Yeah.
You can make more people quit. When you made them quit the sport entirely, or made him quit I
made him quit entirely. I went against and it was two wrestlers with a fucking ego, because wrestlers always have a fucking ego, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Every wrestler that I've ever met that like dudes that were like really good in wrestling in high school, but now they're just like bros, you know?
Yeah.
They're always cocky as fuck, you know?
Which I do get, because you do earn your ego, like in wrestling especially. You earn that.
Yeah.
But then when you're in a new space and there's new rules and
you got to be humble.
Then you have to know when to be humble. Like,
yeah.
I have a little bit of an ego. Like if somebody was like, saying talking like they could.
Were you a wrestler?
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I was just a kickboxer. I kickboxing. That was all my fights. If I wrestled, I would have done MMA. Yeah, it's like. You're allowed to have an ego if you earn it.
Yeah.
You just have to know when to be humble. Like, and who, it's always like who you're around. If I'm around masters, then I'm very, I'm shit compared to my coaches. But
that's another thing. I'd get bitched out because like I would approach like belts that are higher than me, and they're like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to do that." I'm like, "Well,
what do you mean approach?"
Like so in jiu-jitsu, it's like like they have the traditional rules where you like bow when you like step on the mat and stuff.
Yeah, I never did that shit.
Well, they had like where you only like a black belt or whatever you higher. So I was only white belt. So basically everybody, they're only allowed to ask you to spar. You're not really allowed to ask them. Huh. And I was like, well, I'm the fucking big guy, so who the fuck you want me to ask?
Yeah.
So
that's okay. Yeah, I never. My gym was like an MMA gym.
Yeah.
Not like, I mean, obviously it was like, you know, they have the jiu-jitsu and the gi and like all that, but like I would ask guys in the UFC to spar, and it was like,
Yeah.
it was no issue.
Yeah, the guy it was funny as hell because so the reason why I made the guy quit was cuz when you start as white belt, they tell you don't be the jack of all trades. Like pick 3 of your favorite moves and just be a master of those. And I knew, I was like, because I'm a sneaky fucking, I was like, I'm going to pick one move that nobody does. And it was, I guess it's called the anaconda. You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's like,
I did jiu-jitsu too for a little bit.
Oh, okay. It's like where you put your forearm behind the guy's neck, right? And you just lean back.
Yeah.
And I think I popped the guy's neck. That's the guy. That's the guy who quit.
Nice.
And he was a wrestler. It was like we got on the mat, and he's like he was like you. He was a foot taller than me, and he just got out of high school, and he was the top wrestler in his high school. And I'm just like,
so he was 7'1".
He was. I'm 6'1", so he was like 6'7", maybe. You know,
Okay. That's a big boy.
Yeah, and he's like, I was like, so you know how to like tap and everything, right? And he's just like, I don't tap. I'm like, okay, man, all right, you know. And then I did, and I never saw him again after that, you know.
There's no better feeling in the world than making a grown man quit. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to make somebody quit the sport, but like, if I can get you to quit this round or like, just, you know, like to just break, because like I have one good arm, so like they made me, or my coaches taught me to stand southpaw.
Yeah.
So I have a good jab hand, and so my game is just to jab you in the face to set up kicks, and but constant pressure.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, getting a knockout is obviously cool, but like to break somebody mentally, that is my favorite feeling.
Yeah.
Like if somebody comes in cocky and then you spar and like, you know, they give you hell for like a minute, and then it's like, oh, you getting tired there, bud?
Yeah.
And you just fucking,
dude,
I love that.
I was going up against this guy who I could tell, because I grew up with a lot of shady people and I used to sell drugs. I could tell this guy used to be a king. He was a Latin king, like from his tattoos and shit. And he was real cocky. He came there with his kids, and he just did shit. He just had no respect for the gym. I mean, they would tell him like, yo, you got to wear a rash guard or you got to wear a gi. And he'd come in there with his fucking, you know, Tommy Hilfiger sweatpants and shit. So one day they were trying to teach us this like sweep move where you sweep the guy and then you like lock him by the neck, and then once you do that, then it's free spar, like however you get out of it. And you know what what is it? Americana is?
Yeah.
Like the opposite of a Kimura or whatever. I accidentally Americana'd him because he swept me, but then you know how like you basically got to plant their wrist on the ground and then yank their elbow up. I landed with my knee on his wrist, and then I just yanked his, and he's like, man, fuck you, I'm going home. I'm like, karma right here, bro.
Yeah.
Straight up karma. Like, but yeah, man. No, that's cool, man. Can you like roundhouse?
What do you mean by roundhouse?
Can you do like a roundhouse kick?
I mean, a roundhouse is just a normal kick. I could kick you in the head.
Like where you spin and you get...
No, that's not a roundhouse. People call that a roundhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a roundhouse is just a round kick. Like, yeah. But like a spinning back kick, I was never good at them. I could kind of do them, but like I wasn't good at landing them.
Yeah, because I was like, if you're our build, like this big,
yeah,
you got to have like real good yoga ability to do.
Like most dudes our size that can throw those kind of kicks, they started very young in like taekwondo and shit. But it's just, I mean, you don't see a lot of heavyweights throwing that stuff. But like, yeah, I was just very basics, you know. Just
you got any crazy fucking fight stories?
On the street. You want to hear one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this guy, cause I'm pretty calm.
Yeah.
Like I'm just very comfortable in chaos from years of.
Was alcohol involved?
On his part, I mean, we were both drunk. Yeah. Alcohol. Okay, alcohol was it. Yeah. It was like St. Patty's Day weekend in Milwaukee, and one thing about being big and strong. And
so like 2 days ago. No.
This was a couple years ago. one thing about being big and strong, and knowing how to fight. My friends, like they know, like if we're out, like they know that I'm not gonna let them get their ass kicked. So like there was a time when they would feel comfortable acting a little more aggressive.
Yeah.
Out in the streets. If I was there.
Yeah.
And they know I'm just very protective by nature. Like if somebody like fucks with my friend who's small, then like no, you're fighting me, not him. But like we're in line to get hot dogs at a hot dog stand, and it's not really a line. It's just a conglomerate of people.
Yeah.
And this guy, I don't know, my buddy's just chirping him for whatever reason. I see him like kind of going back and forth, and I'm ignoring it because it's not escalating or whatever. I see them like, well, he's distracted. Like he was bitching about us cutting him in line. Yeah. And it wasn't a line, or like my friend cutting him in line. So while he's distracted, I order our hot dogs, and then like we get them, we're about to leave, and then he comes up. And he's pissed that we got our hot dogs, and he didn't. He's like 6 foot dude. He was pretty fat. We probably weighed about the same. Yeah. And like so he tries to get to my buddy, and I get in between, and my buddy's still chirping him. And like when I'm in like now, like I will just talk shit. I will just like like I'm very like I'm
Plus,
calm.
we have that skill from being a comedian.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I wasn't even doing stand up yet, but I've always been a little bit of a shit talker. Yeah, like, I have comedic timing, so I like just making fun of him and like talking tough. I'm like you're gonna need a couple friends if you're gonna do this, and like just saying wild shit, and which usually works. If I say that like you need to get 2 friends before you fight me, and I'll leave you all in a pot. Like to that crazy level of confidence gets most people to back down. And I don't have to throw a punch. Yeah. But this guy, he came at me with his arm cocked back, like just trying to throw a haymaker, and I just stuck him with a jab. Like I have a hot dog in my hand. I'm holding a hot dog, and I just I crack him with a stiff jab, and he just like it's all of his momentum. Like I have a stiff jab. Like as well is my good arm, my only arm, like my main weapon.
Are you a righty?
Yeah, I mean I have to be. I don't know what I would have been if I didn't have this arm fucked up, but so he eats like one stiff jab and just like looks confused and does the same thing again. Yeah, I'm like okay, same exact thing. He comes back with his right arm cocked back. I stuck him in the face. He's starting to bleed a little bit. He does it a 3rd time. Yeah. And the whole time, I didn't even drop an onion off the hot dog. Like, I stuck him one more time, and then at that point, people got in between us, and like, his.
Yo, man, just chill out. I need to refuel. Take a bite.
My only regret is not. I wish I would have hit him, taken a bite, and hit him again. That would have been the coldest shit ever done.
It would have been cool. Yeah.
And yeah, that. Like we just got the fuck out of there at that point, but.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, I didn't have to unload on him. I could have. I could have dropped the hot dog and, touched him up with a. I could have put a high kick on him, but there's no need. It's like this drunk idiot,
Yeah, yeah.
He's gonna have a sore mouth, and hopefully learns a lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I love seeing like it seemed like in the past 2 years there've been so many videos on the news where there's like somebody trying to rob somewhere. And some jiu-jitsu guy just folds him into a fucking pretzel.
That's fun, yeah.
That shit's so much. That's so funny, dude.
Yeah, bouncing. We had a crazy one.
You were a bouncer?
Yeah, like our whole we got this guy out of the bar. He had a bunch of friends. He was just being a problem all night. Yeah. And once he's out, I thought it was fine. And then he dropped probably like $500 cash. Yeah. Like it just fell out and it's on the ground. Yeah. So now there's people who were in line to get in, trying to pick up money. Yeah. Our bouncers are picking up money to give it back to him, just get it out of like they weren't trying to take it, but yeah. Like I don't know how, but like his friends all like jumped us. Yeah. And then people who were just on the street jumped in and started fighting bouncers. I don't know if he knew them or what. Yeah. But it was just all hell broke loose. And my old boss, who was a bouncer, or he was like the lead bouncer. He like he fought Rampage Jackson back in the day.
Oh, wow.
This is a bad motherfucker. He's like 50, but this is a bad motherfucker. I
love Rampage.
Yeah. Like, so he was like kind of at the like almost UFC level, but just tons of fights, just a bad dude.
Yeah.
And somebody like got behind him and like he was on the ground and somebody was hitting him. I come up, I crack that dude, I drop him. He stands up and squares up with me, and I look around and there's like 10 cops just watching. Like, what the do you want me to finish this? Like, I will happily deal with this if you don't want to do your job.
Yeah. I had half of my fight moments were like at fucking just shows of people being dicks.
Music shows?
Yeah. Because like it's like there's some like metal, you know like comics do skits and shit on Instagram and TikTok.
Right.
There's a few channels where they do like, oh, there's this guy at a metal show. There's this guy at a metal show.
Yeah.
Well, there's always a guy at a metal show that like he only goes because he wants to fight people. He doesn't know any of the fucking music. He's just a piece of shit. He just wants to. And I go to this show. It was this band Every Time I Die. They were at.
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, you like them?
Not really. I don't listen to that kind of stuff anymore, but I used to go to shows like that, local shows. But I know of the band.
Yeah, and they were playing. Actually, it was one of their. It was a year before they broke up, and it was it was like a mile from here, or 3 miles south, Arlington Heights. This place called Dirty Nelly's, and I just see this guy in the pit, and there's like those little hardcore chick where they're like almost like trolls. They got the gauges, and they're like 4 foot tall chicks that are just they have rage in them from dad not being there, so, you know.
Yeah.
And this guy's just going up to these chicks, grabbing them by the back of the head, and just slamming their head down, just like a fucking dude that's as tall as us, like as tall as me. And I see him, so I go up to him and I just shove him. I'm like, don't fucking do that shit. So then he starts trying to fight me, and I punched him twice in the face, and then his friends get on me, and they hold my arms back, and they start punching me in the face. So I'm at this moment, I'm like, all right, man, this is the point where I don't care if I fight dirty, and I just, like, I don't know if you're ever into wrestling, like the Wolfpack sign?
No.
From NWO, they like there's this for metal, but they used to do this in wrestling, Wolfpack, where I just like shoved my fucking fingers down his throat, and then I put my point finger and pinky in his eyes, and he just fell back because he was fucking rocked. And then the security like separated us. This guy was so drunk that we just like the show went on. Nobody got kicked out. Later on in this is like the funniest ending to a mosh pit that. I was through this phase where like I had a receding hairline, so I started using coconut oil instead of hairspray to slick my hair. So I run into him at the mosh pit like an hour later, and he just puts his hand around me. I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna fight again, and he just goes, yo man, your hair smells beautiful.
So you just forgot who you were.
Yeah, he just
Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah, that's all I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, just metal shows were the fucking worst for that shit. Because when I was like 15, 16, I would go to those.
Yeah.
A lot of local shows. You might have, the band Sleep Therapist Sleep?
No.
Okay, they were like a metalcore band out of like Milwaukee area.
Okay.
They were like one of the bigger like local bands for a long time. So I would go to show. I thought you might be aware of them from your background, but
yeah.
So I would go to a lot of these like local metal shows, and I was like 15, and there's like 30-year-old men just trying to fight us, like fighting everybody, just being fucking assholes. Like they would bait one person into fighting, and then their whole crew would just jump them.
Yeah,
and like we would go to war with these fucks, and we were just kids. Like, before I was like just starting training, so I wasn't like good yet. Like But yeah, that shit was wild.
Yeah, I remember. So I went to Riot Fest. I think it was the best year ever. It was like 2017 or 18. It was one of those years where literally I was marathoning to each stage because there was so many good bands. Like, I mean, fucking 9 Inch Nails, Queens of the Stone Age, then At the Drive, and just so many good bands. And Wu-Tang was gonna play, and so Wu-Tang fans, like actual Wu-Tang fans, they don't go to fucking metal shows. They don't know how it goes.
Yeah.
They don't know, like, somebody falls down, you help and pick them up. Somebody starts, you break it up. So, like, it was so funny because I was pissed off for so many reasons. Number one was I try and like go all the way to the front because I want to catch the show front row, obviously, and then they open up with they're like, okay guys, so you know what, we want to, we're from the hood, so we got to give some love to the hood. And they pulled out like this like the it was like the like Inglewood, it's the worst neighborhood in Chicago. They're like, we're gonna have the Inglewood Choir, and it's like all these kids singing, and I want to be like, fuck this, I wanted to see Wu-Tang, and then they're like, all right, so we're gonna play our best album backwards. And I'm like, fuck, because all the good songs are the first one, So then I'm in the front, and there's this dude. He's like 400 pounds. He's like big pun. And when the band starts, everybody rushes to the front. He's not used to that, so he just starts elbowing chicks in the face. Like, he almost hit my wife. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? So I'm like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. They're not gonna fuck. So I just I straight up just stood back, and I just ran up his back to crowd surf out of there, and I kneed him in the head.
Nice.
And it was fucking hilarious. And he tried getting me, but he's too big to get over the fucking barricade. So
yeah.
But there's always those situations at shows. I mean,
we need a solid crowd if we're crowd surfing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, to pick us. Yeah. I can't do that shit anymore. I feel so bad. Somebody trying to lift me up, oh God.
Yeah, there's a time you realize that you've had your last crowd surf.
Yeah, I remember.
Then you just become the guy that everybody's like, hey, come on.
Yeah. Do you listen to rap, Tyler the Creator and Odd Future?
I listen very little. These days I listen to 90% sad bluegrassy country.
Yeah. What's funny is I never got into country, and I never thought I would, and I always was that guy that shat on it and shit. And then, dude, I just this is the weirdest fucking. My wife's gonna kill me for this, but we went on this I had a bad year in 2020. My whole family died off. 5 people in 1 year.
Shit.
And one of my wife's friends is like, yo, we're having this huge party at this lake house. We should go. And her friend was. It wasn't her friend. It was her friend's family is loaded. So we go to this lake house. They got a hot tub. They got a fucking sauna out there. They have a speedboat. And I just remember we're on this speedboat. These drunk ass chicks are driving this speedboat drunk as fuck at full speed. And they put on Morgan Wallen. And I'm just like, dude, I get it now. I get it now.
Morgan Wallen does rip.
Yeah.
I don't listen to most bro country, the radio shit. That's not really my thing. I find it kind of corny. So I listen to mostly Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
see, I don't know any of the. I would love to get into it.
They're more it's less of a
pop.
Yeah, it's not poppy. It's not just most and there's Morgan Wallen does have some songs like this, but it's most country on the radio, it's just naming certain things that make you feel a certain way. It's they want to hit all these points. They'll reference an old song from the 90s or 80s and and trucks and so I don't get into that bullshit, but Morgan Wallen
I love
he's
that
the
shit.
man. He's
it's
so good.
Fucking great. I'm like this is how you know you're a white person who loves his life is when you get into country. It's
yeah. Or if you get into the sad kind of country, then not so much.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. I just felt the past, because I always there's that joke that once you hit 30, you never check out any new music, and I'm always checking out new music. I'm just a huge music, and I was just I don't know, man. It's something I never would have thought I gotten into, and it was fucking great. I don't know it.
Yeah, 'cause I used to listen to a lot of emo music.
Yeah,
My Chemical Romance, that could Say Anything, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and then I got once I started getting into this kind of country music, I realized it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just a different type of white trash.
Yeah.
It's the same, just sad, heartbroken, this man on the road, country music.
I'm still working on this bit that that like so when I was in so I grew up in Chicago, and I was on the football team, and I was writing this bit about how like I never really played. I made it on the football team, and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. And we're lifting and stuff, and like as a foreign kid, I was like, okay, we're talking about plays and how awesome they are while we're fucking showering. Okay, it's not gay because everyone else is doing it. It's cool. It's not gay yet. And then like whatever, like when guys try to pep talk, they're like, man, dude, if you're gonna make this touchdown, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass. It's gonna be fucking like, all right, it's not gay yet.
Okay,
Not gay
that
yet.
doesn't sound gay at all.
And then like the punch is like the high school that I went to, all like half of the Rise Against members went there.
Okay.
So everybody in my fucking school listened to that emo like Thursday Boy Sets Fire shit. And the punch is like, I was like, yo, man, so you want to listen to some fucking Slayer while we lift, or something? And they put on that emotion. I'm like, all right, now it's gay.
Yeah.
I'm like, we literally have a team of dudes that they have the Aryan Viking look, we're all jacked. Like we'd fucking drink our own blood after a battle, and we're listening to 30-year-olds cry about high school girlfriends,
Yeah.
So, but.
Yeah. No, that's... Honestly, emo is it's like the ultimate sector of white trash.
Yeah.
Like I did a presentation on this once about white. It was about white trash culture.
Yeah.
And so there's four main groups, and there's
that dude. I'm just laughing picturing you in front of a PowerPoint, and
it was very fun. But you got there's trailer park.
Yeah.
There's redneck. There is hippie and hipsters.
Yeah.
And emo has a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's like it completes the white trash spectrum.
Yeah. Have you ever knew guys that were like in the trailer thing and then they smoked meth and they like murder somebody?
No.
No.
I didn't live in a trailer park. That's some extremes. But
Yeah.
No, I was never into meth.
No, people always think that I like tried meth because I'm just high energy. I love my coffee. I love my nicotine, but no, I never did anything crazy like that. I just knew like there's a town I used to work in. It's like 5 miles fucking east of here, Elk Grove Village. That whole town is like a trailer park. And I've seen some crazy shit there. Like, I mean, I would like, I used to do like Instacart, you deliver groceries and shit. And there'd be people like where they're just like, I'm not even joking. They wanted a pint of ice cream, a 2-liter of Faygo. And while I'm delivering to them, they're smoking a glass pipe, that type of shit. Like,
Yeah.
So, but, yeah. But yeah, man, dude, I'm glad I met you in comedy and shit. Like,
yeah.
I know we didn't mention, I was, so that's the funny thing is like being in music, I always had the balls to message whoever the fuck. Like, I always like, all right, if I look up to this band and they're coming to town, I am going to track down their email and be like, can I open for you? And so I messaged Zach and Zach's Zach Amico, he's so fucking nice. He's the nicest, and I didn't even know that he's like real cool with Jess Misitano. So,
is he?
Yeah, I mean, because when
I thought that was the first time they met, but I didn't know.
I don't know. They were. I was hanging out with him for a while
that night at the show.
Yeah, and but that was fucking great. You did a good set. You fucking like that was. See, that's what drives me nuts. This is like a Chicago thing. Is like I think I talked about this with Alan. Is like I can't stand. When there's cliques, what they do is like, okay, this club, we have like our 3 favorites and we're going to book them.
Yeah.
And then it's like, bro, you have a comedian that does like Sebastian Maniscalco type comedy and you're going to be like, oh, he'll open for Zach. It's not going to fucking do it. That's why I'm not going to name names, but you could tell some of the people opening didn't do well because they're not for Zach's crowd.
Right. I didn't see the host set, but I love that kind of crowd. Like I opened for Lewis. I just did 5 minutes.
Luis Gomez?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that was like a year ago. But like they have the most fun crowd, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like, they're dirty dog.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
No, you will never be at that show and someone's gonna be offended because you know what you're gonna fucking see. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that shit. Yeah. Do you run? You ever try like running a mic or anything?
So I used to produce a show. I used to run a mic. That didn't really work. But sorry. Yeah, I ran a show for maybe like a year and a half. Now the only thing I produce is the roast battle in Milwaukee.
Oh, cool.
So I've done a lot of producing.
Nice, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go up on 420 to Zocala to do Alan's thing.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna go with his. So I don't know. Do you know Alan well?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Alan grew up in my old neighborhood.
Okay.
Like we probably ran into each other as kids or something. You know. And then his best friend Brian Miklas.
I know the name. I don't think I met him.
He they grew up in that same area.
Oh, are they that cool? I think that dude messaged me to get on a roast, but
Yeah.
we didn't have a spot for him.
Yeah. Alan grew up with him and shit, and I guess Alan's trying to move back or something.
Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
For comedy?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, that's how I ran into them because I was just, I don't know, dude. You can just tell with comedians, like it's like the metal like the metal joke, like what guy at a metal show. It's like you can tell who's the opportunist. You can tell who's like, the cool guy that's like, I don't really want to be around you, type shit. And I could tell fucking, I mean, shout out to Real Ass Podcast. I could tell who the real ass dudes are,
Right.
type shit.
Yeah.
And that's who I try to chill with because I'm the kind of dude where I'm like, all right, I got like 5 solid friends. One of us is gonna make it, and we're all gonna fucking help each other out, type shit.
Yeah.
Because I just run into so many fucking people where it's just like, I don't know. I just, I started out. This is March is gonna. Oh, it is March. Fuck. So I think I'm either 2 or 3 years in because my ADHD.
Yeah.
And I love the progress. I think I've done good. I had a bunch of people telling me you're going too fast, type shit, and I'm just like, I'm just going with the flow, man. Like.
Yeah.
I'd love to fucking open for like Lewis or something, but
yeah. I mean, everyone has a different journey. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like. It's not my place or anybody's place to say you're doing it wrong unless there's something like.
Yeah.
Obvious. Like. But yeah, I don't know. Just people say you shouldn't post clips until you're like 5 years in. But I'm like, or whatever. Like I've heard people say that, but I'm like, okay, well, I had a clip get like 1.8 million views when I was 3.5 years in.
Oh,
So,
nice, man.
like, suck my balls. I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as you're putting funny first and like you're doing the process, then just figure it. Like the rest is just figuring it out.
Yeah. You know what I'm doing is I kind of wanted to like kamikaze people with this like as a surprise, but I think I might have mentioned, who Crack Amico is?
I've heard a little bit about it. I don't know really.
Okay, he's I guess I don't know the exact information, but it was like on Skanks they were looking for a rapper that would make songs about comedians. And yeah. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, pretty soon. But you finish your thought.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that yeah, so they were having this contest like we want a rapper who can make beats about us comedians, and this guy won it because he could suck his own dick on video, and he actually writes good beats. Like like 6 months ago as a joke, I started listening to Riff Raff, and now I'm obsessed.
He's fucking Riff Raff is the man.
I
it's
fucking
so fun.
love Riff Raff, dude. It's so much. It's great. Before I used to love Gucci Mane. He's like the white Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
Dude, he's fucking great. I saw him 3 months ago in like.
How was he live?
Bro, I'm going to be honest. There was every single mic I've gone to, there was more people at my mic than at his show.
Wow.
It was fucking sad, dude. It was, and there was a lot of things that pissed me off. Like he had 8 local openers. Who the fuck has ever heard of that? comedy shows, you have maximum 4 openers.
Yeah, and that's still if you have a big headliner.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
And it was, and I even write it. I even do a bit about it that I had 2 rappers go up to me. They gave me their sticker. One of them's name was, no joke, Hot Lotion, and the other one's name was Kid Vibes. Nice. I'm like, dude, I don't have a rapist van to put this on, you know.
Good name.
But then the other thing was, he is a lot of fun. Like, he has a fucking chopped the back end of a Lamborghini. He has it on stage, so that's kind of cool. Nice. But the thing that I like, he kind of he like lip syncs.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I've
heard he's not great live. I would still love to go see him.
I think it's because the rap community really shat on him, but it was still fun. But anyways, so Crack Amico writes these beats, and I reached out to him. He's gonna make me a fucking song.
Nice.
I mean, I'm paying him, but
yeah,
I think that would be like that's totally whatever my persona, Wild Phil. That's my persona, you know. Right. So, but yeah, man. So you got any shows coming up you want to plug?
Oh shit, I'm all over the place.
Yeah. You don't have to. You know.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee Roast. If you're in Milwaukee, we have monthly shows. Our next one's March 30th, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think March 30th. Milwaukee Roast. We do shows every month. We've had a lot of success.
Yeah, it's been popping.
Yeah, they've been so fun. We actually have like real momentum. We had Bobby Kelly judge the last one.
Oh, nice.
We had Charlie Barron's judge one, Ben Palmer. So we've been getting these big names, and the whole scene, the whole Milwaukee scene. We can get you on one if you want.
Yeah, it'd be great.
But everybody's been writing so good for it. Everybody's been crushing. Like,
do you guys do it when you roast? Like, you kind of like to pair it up with a friend so that you're familiar with each other?
Preferably.
Yeah.
So I'm at least like that. I think that makes the best roast battle.
Yeah.
You guys have chemistry.
Yeah.
But we can make it. We could have you versus Ellen maybe.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
Is Ellen on one? Is Ellen on the next one? I don't know.
Yeah, I've been on so many in Chicago that they're like, and they didn't do too well. I did 4 roasts and only one of them did amazing, but the other did shit.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like, we need to give you a break. But yeah, that'd be fucking great.
Yeah, we'll have you on one.
So yeah, man, but bro, it's been nice fucking meeting you.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice getting to know you, and yeah, man, we're definitely gonna fucking run into each other, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me, man.
So nice, man. It. Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck. God damn it! I fucked it up.
All right, well,
at least you're not black, dude. Oh,